Hello, second grade. Okay, so I'm bringing back a song actually that we sung like at the beginning of the year. It's called Erie Canal. I know you know this one. I found it in one of my a really old book actually that I got at an antique store, and I thought it was kind of cool. This version was pretty neat, and it's been a while since we sung this. So I made pictures of this. Now the only thing that's kind of confusing is the way that the words are written in here. It's kind of confusing with the repeat sign stuff. So what I did was I actually typed out the words on a separate piece of paper that I will include with your email. That's going to have this song plus the pictures of the actual music. That way, if you're getting confused with the pictures, you could just look at the typed version that I have. There's 3 verses, okay? And I can't remember when we did this before. I know I've heard these 3 verses before, but I'm not convinced that we actually went through all the 3 verses when we did it. So today we're actually going to go through all 3 verses. For those that don't remember how the song goes, it goes like this. Now, I'll be honest with you, this has a tricky piano part. Some tricky things going on there. So I will play the tricky piano part for you right now. But when we sing, I'm just going to do it nice and simple, so it's not too hard to understand. So I'm going to move the camera here so you can enjoy tricky piano part. And here's how the song goes. And then it actually repeats back to the beginning again for a second time. So here's the second time. Okay, and then the third time kind of has a completely different melody. Okay, so I like to call this the B section because it's different than the first 2 times when we played. So here's the B section. And then it does it a second time. Okay, so that's Erie Canal with all the tricky piano stuff. Taking the tricky out, let's go ahead and just run through the melody, which is the part that you would be singing. So here's how the melody sounds. The words are, I've got a mule, her name is Sal. You should recognize that because we had that down pretty well last time. This part is different. The version we did was 15 miles on the Erie Canal. This is 15 years. Wow, that's a long time. So that's another reason why I picked this, just so you can see that sometimes the same song might have a different verse or even a different way of singing it. This is an American work song. It's a folk song. So know with folk songs that a lot of times you can change out the words, or people did change out the words. So it looks like this. I've got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. Okay, try singing that with me. 1, 2, ready, go. I've got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. Okay, second part. Let's see if you can remember the second part. If you can remember it, sing it with me. If you don't, just listen. She's a good old worker and a good old pal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. Okay, let's try that. She's a 1, 2, 3. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Okay, so let's put both those parts together. 1, 2, ready, go. I've got a mule, her name is Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. How about you sing that by yourself? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the beginning repeated twice. And then here's the second section of that. We've hauled some barges in our day. Remember, barges are pieces of wood that people would connect together, almost looking like a big flat like floor, and they would connect it together. And they usually use trees. They would just cut down trees and connect, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 trees. They put them all together, cut them up so they made like a little square, and then you could put stuff on it, and it was easy to float on the water. It's actually easier to float than trying to pull it up hills and stuff. So that's how people used to move things long time ago. If they're trying to move stuff down the water instead of pulling it up and down mountains, you could just connect your horse, and if the water was shallow enough, the horse could pull the barge walking in the water, or sometimes they would have the horse on the shoreline and they would just pull the barge on the water while the horse was on the land, and they just connect it with rope. So that's what they're talking about there. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. Okay, try singing that with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with coal and... Oh, sorry. Filled with lumber, coal, and hay. Oh, Mrs. Harp, try that again for me. 1, 2, 3. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. Okay, let's take it from the beginning, repeating the two parts at the top, and then do the we've hauled some barges. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I've got a mule, her name is Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. Okay, so here's the last part of that first page. And every inch of the way we know, from Albany to Buffalo. So they're just saying, obviously, the area that they had to pull the barges in, they know very well, because they've been up and down that way for a long time, 15 years to be exact. Okay, so at every inch of the way we know, from Albany to Buffalo. Okay, and every inch of the way we know, from Albany to Buffalo. Okay, try that with me. 1, 2, 3. And oopsie, where did I go? I was trying to sing the beginning. Goodness gracious, even though I had the right words. All right, so and every inch of the way I know, from Albany to Buffalo. Okay, let's take it from the top. Oh, and you might notice on the second... Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is where the music's confusing. So when we sing through this, this is the first part. You're going to sing through the first part till you get here. Then we have to do the repeat. So come back up here. Notice how there's a 1 and a 2. So you will stay with 1. Normally in the repeat you go to 2, but since there's a second part to 1, we're going to stay on the 1. Okay? So here would be the second part. Da 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 da. Then when you get here, skip to the 2 part of this second ending. And then you're going to move on down to all this stuff. Then we get to the end of the song. And guess what? Now we go back to the top and do the 2 part. Okay? But like I said, because the way it's written, it's, I think, kind of confusing. So I'm going to refer to that first part as number 1, and then we'll look at the second part, and then we'll look at the third part, which sounds nothing like 1 or 2. Okay, I'm going to sing through all of number 1, then you're going to join me. I've got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay, and every inch of the way we know from Albany to Buffalo. Okay, that's all of number 1. Try it with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I've got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay, and every inch of the way I know from Albany to Buffalo. Wow. Okay, you sing that by yourself. I'm going to play the piano part. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, hopefully you went pretty well with that. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is going to sound like the music's going to sound the same as number 1. It's just the words are different. So number 2 is, we'd better get along, old gal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Your turn. Ready, go. We'd better get along, old gal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Okay. Second part of that. 'Cause you bet your life I'd never part with Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Oh, I like that. Okay, so let's sing both those parts together. We better get along, old gal, and 'cause you bet your life I'd never part with Sal. 1, 2, 3. We'd better get along, old gal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. 'Cause you bet your life I'd never part with Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Giddy up there, Sal, here comes a lock. We'll make Rome 'bout 6 o'clock. Just one more trip and then we'll go right back home to Buffalo. There it is. That's all the second part. Okay? So let's sing all the second part with piano. We better get along, old gal. 1. You know what? I might just move the camera here. I always feel weird playing for you, and I don't look at your face because I'm looking at the music. So I think this way is a little more interesting. So I will sing still, and you sing with me. Part 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We'd better get along, old gal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. 'Cause you bet your life I'd never part with Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. Giddy up there, Sal, here comes a lock. We'll make Rome 'bout 6 o'clock. Just one more trip and then we'll go right back home to Buffalo. How'd it go? Hopefully it went good. Okay. How about you and I sing through part 1 and part 2, and then you're going to sing through part 1 and part 2 all by yourself, okay? Together to start with. Here's part 1. 1, 2, 3. I've got a mule, her name is Sal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 years on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay, and every inch of the way I know from Albany to Buffalo. We've better get along, gal. one more trip and then we'll go right back home to Buffalo. Whew. I'll tell you, there were some moments where I thought I was going to mess up, but I kept going. How'd you do? Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Okay, now you get to sing it by yourself. 1 and 2, all by yourself. I'm going to move this back down here. Okay, remember the key is don't stop no matter what. I'm not going to stop. You don't stop. Okay, if you need to pause the video for a second, run through the words, get it in your head. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, and then play. All right, so here we go. Let's do it. Verse 1 and verse 2, no stopping. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Some little questionable moments on the piano, but not bad. How'd you do? Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. Let's look at number 3. And remember 3? Oopsie. Here I am, just dropping the phone. Okay, 3 is the one that doesn't sound like 1 or 2 at all. Okay, so this is 3. Low bridge, everybody down. Oops. Everybody down. So it's low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge, for we're going through the town. So a lot of times in town when they have bridges, they would raise them if they could. Sometimes they couldn't. So sometimes they just built bridges that were tall and they'd hope that they'd have a smaller like boat or ship or barge coming through. So if you're lucky, you could get a bridge that would actually open up and the barge could go through. But a lot of times you didn't have that. So a lot of times the barges, if they're filled up high, either the person that was on the barge trying to push it through would just lay down or swim on the side, or they might even just be on the side with the horse trying to pull it through. So that's what they mean by this part. Low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge, for we're going through a town. And you'll always know your neighbor, you always know your pal if you ever navigated on the Erie Canal. So that part there is just kind of saying, hey, everybody knows everybody because they're all working through here anyway. So you should know people in this Erie Canal area if you work there. Okay. How about we do this? I'll sing, you repeat after me. Low bridge, everybody down. Your turn. Ready, go. Low bridge, everybody down. My turn. Low bridge, for we're going through a town. Your turn. Ready, go. Low bridge, for we're going through a town. Good. Now listen to this part. That is, and you'll always know your neighbor, you'll always know your pal. Say that with me. Ready, go. And you'll always know your neighbor, you'll always know your pal. Good. So let's do the low bridge all the way up to the always know your neighbor. Ready, go. Low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge, for we're going through the town. And you'll always know your neighbor, you'll always know your pal. Okay, here's the last part. Okay, so it's okay. If you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal, if you ever navigated on the Erie Canal. That's the whole thing. Okay, so let's do the low bridge part. 1, 2, ready, go. Low Erie Canal. I don't know what happened to the piano part, but I got the singing. Yay! Okay, so that's the whole thing. That's the whole song. Let's sing through first verse, second verse, and third verse. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I've got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay, and every inch of the way we know, from Albany to Buffalo. We'd better get on, long old gal, 15 years on the Erie Canal, 'cause you bet your life I'll never part with Sal, 15 years on the Erie Canal. Giddy up there, Sal, here comes the log, we'll make the run by 6 o'clock, just one more trip and then we'll go right back home to Buffalo. Okay, so here's the third verse. Roll bridge, everybody down, roll bridge, for we're going through the town, and you'll always have neighbor and you'll always know your pal if you ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Whew. Okay, man, that was like a brain teaser trying to get through all 3 verses. If you need to stop and take a breather, that's totally fine. This is a lot. Okay, I'm going to play one time through the first verse, second verse, third verse without singing. So when you are ready, you could go ahead and sing along. Okay, I'm going to move the camera right here. Okay, here we go. First, second, and third verse. I just realized I didn't count you in. How are you supposed to know when to start? Ay, 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 Mrs. Harp. Let me try that again. Here we go. So this is your note. Get ready to sing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, I've. Okay, we put some work in on this one. So like I said, if you need to pause the video at any point, take a little breather, look at the words, double check on how it's supposed to sound, that's totally fine. Pause the video and then come back. Hey, send me a video of how you sound. I want to hear how you sound. And I miss seeing you. Okay, till next time. See you later, second grade. Bye.